Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm going to be comparing the i3 8100 against the Ryzen 3 1200 with and without overclock. The i3 cannot be overclocked since it's not a K chip, so it can only run at stock settings, and since this is a CPU comparison, I had to make sure that the CPU is the limiting factor while testing these games. If not, it wouldn't make sense to make this comparison. So as a GPU, I'll be using a GTX 1080 Ti. I know it's one of the most powerful GPUs out there, so yeah, the point here is to make sure that the CPUs are the limiting factor, and we can see what's the maximum frame rate of each of its chips. Of course, I don't expect anyone to buy a 1080 Ti with an i3 or with a Ryzen 3 processor. So this is not a real life scenario, for saying in some way, it's just to compare the processors to see what's the difference between them. If you want to see real life scenarios, for example 1050 Ti, 1060s with these processors, just check the links down in the description and the pinned comment. Also in real life scenarios, for example you put a 1050 Ti or 1060 in the mix with these CPUs, there will be smaller differences. For the i3 8100 I used a B360 motherboard, and for the Ryzen 3 I used a B350. Unfortunately the i3's motherboard only supports up to 2400 MHz, so the RAM was going at 2400, and Ryzen 3 I managed to get it to 2933. So if you manage to use faster RAM of each of these processors, you'll be getting a little better performance. For the 3.9 GHz overclock on Ryzen 3 I use 1.25 volts, and I'm using stock coolers on both of them. And well, I'll be testing 12 games. If you want to skip to any of those, just check the timestamps down in the description. So remember, this is meant to be just CPUs being the limiting factor, not the GPU, so that's what I'm doing here. And I'm not going to tell you which one to buy because all countries have different pricing usually. So in some places maybe it's better to get Intel, on some other ones due to pricing maybe AMD, but if you're able to, I would recommend getting a 2200G instead. It's usually performing better than the Ryzen 3 1200, and it tends to be similar in price. So if so far you're aiming more to a Ryzen 3 1200, consider a 2200G. This is just a video to show you how both perform. I hope you enjoy and find it useful. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Only line of communication.
You good up there, Edward?
Yes, starting to get the hang of it.
What'd you do back home?
Drove a car. I was a chauffeur.
All stop! This is far enough. Infantry will go on the first whistle. Then we follow.
Heavens above. You ever seen anything like this?
I have, I'm sorry to say.
Listen, we're going to cut down the guns up by that windmill. Give our boys some room! That's our cue. Go ahead! See that tank, Edwards? Don't get us stuck in the mud like that.
They got one of ours!
Aye, guns.
I appreciate not being a target, no boy!
We're moving slow. Finch, what's the matter?
Engine's fine, sir. It's the motor. Engine's fine! We can keep them moving!
Those machine guns are holding our lads back. Hold position here. Clean out all the German guns.
I've got eyes on the target. Hey, what's up? Hi there. What's going on, my dude? Outstanding.
If you'll excuse me, Congressman, urgent matter. Do enjoy your evening.
Screwed.
You're on.
You, head down to the old radio. Get the generator working. We need to get one last transmission and let the others settle down on what's coming. I'll do what I can. You two, I need eyes out across.
I need more wood for the fire.
They needed most of the lumber to repair the guard towers. We'll have to make do with what we have.
Well, if they need arrowheads for the battle, you could said they'd come. We never come.
Lara, I'm sorry if Sophia was less than welcoming.
I understand. I'm just glad you were there to vouch for me.
My people have spent decades fighting outsiders. It's not an easy habit to break. See if you can lend a hand with the preparations. A little hard work would go a long way towards building trust.
I'll see what I can do.
They will likely come from the air. Jacob is assembling fighters in the upper village to draw their attention.
Roach.
Eternal fire will light our way.
That's just talk.
Officer, taking a rest from witch hunting. Greetings, Your Honor.
Eternal fire will guide us.
Armed ruffians in town.
Bet you're sweaty in all that armour.
What do you care?
Wouldn't you rather sweat on me?
Son's dead.
Stop going there, you're off place.
How are we to fight a